we move over here to our Sounders, and despite the Storm taking a loss, I have a lot of positivity with them just because of the young players sort of contributing. With the Sounders here, this one was just a frustrating loss. So Seattle returns back to Lumen Field, hosting Sporting Kansas City. Sporting Kansas City coming into this match being at the bottom of the Western Conference, having only won one match. I mean, no matches leading into this, and the last time that these two teams played over in Kansas City, Jordan Morris scored 4 goals and outscored Kansas City himself. Um, Not the case, as you can see. Seattle would lose this 1-2. Our player of the game, center attacking mid Nico Ladero, a 7.7 match rating. Seattle's only goal of the game, 3 shots, 2 chances created. Um, just frustrating overall. Seattle did not look ready in this one. They got sort of ambushed by Kansas City as Sporting took 2 goals in the first half on plays where Seattle's defense kind of broke down. Seattle's goalless streak at Lumen Field ends here with those 2 goals in the first half. And just tough because of how ugly it was. It was frustrating. Nico Ladero obviously gets the penalty goal to go in after Freddie Montero drew it. Seattle had numerous chances throughout the end of the second half to try and equalize and just couldn't make it in. And this photo by our photographer on the day, Matthew Bermudez, kind of shows the frustration. Yamar standing atop a Sporting player trying to, plead with the referee for better fortune, for whatever results being taken place here. And it just did not go through. So it's frustrating. Seattle went with more of an attacking sort of formation. They had the same sort of left wing Leo Chu up top Jordan Morris combination from that stretch of time where Chu and Morris were going off, and it didn't work out. Morris had a few solid opportunities, but just couldn't get them to go. I believe Leo Chu was subbed off in this one with what looked like an injury. I haven't seen any injury related updates on him. So yeah, it'll be interesting how this team bounces back from this. Because of the 3 losses this year, 2 of them have just been ugly ones to teams that they shouldn't have lost to, let alone really split points with. But that first one against FC Cincinnati is one of the best teams in all of MLS right now. So that one I take little stock in, especially because it was a 1-0 game, and Seattle arguably could have had an equalizer had it not been for a foul in the buildup. So very tough. Um, and it's not like this one was a blowout like the Portland loss was, but they shouldn't have even really been on the board. I believe it was you had your outside backs. Alex Roldan was on the left, and Reed Becker Whitting, I believe, was on the right. Both did not play very well, and it's tough. But it's the early part of the season. MLS season runs late into the year to an extent, so I'm not too worried about it, but again, I'm very interested to see how the team responds from this match going forward. We have some injury-related news. On May 2nd, we found out that midfielder Kellen Rowe will be out for 6 to 8 weeks. He did suffer a leg injury against Real Salt Lake and had to be carried off of the field. He did avoid any serious ligament damage, though, thankfully, so that's a key part to note, but it is a hit to Seattle's depth for the time that he's out on the defensive side of things for the time that he is out of action. Um, Also reported on the 2nd, Nuhu was potentially able to appear against Sporting Kansas City, but did not. He was out for that game against Sporting KC with malaria. Head coach Brian Schmetzer says he is all right, though. Christian Roldan is seeing a specialist, and there's apparently some cause for concern with the injury he suffered. There was an update recently that there's no change on his status as of now, but they're fully waiting essentially for the symptoms of the concussion that he suffered to go away. They're fully waiting for that, waiting for the lingering ones to go away, and then they're going to move forward with it. So that's why we haven't really heard anything from Roldan. And then out against Sporting Kansas City was forward Raul Ruiz Diaz, in addition to Rowe and Roldan and Nuhu. So we look ahead. Seattle has 2 matches going forward. One of them is a U.S. Open Cup match. So Seattle won their first match in the round of 32. Over San Diego. Well, it said round 3. I could be wrong. They won their first US Open Cup match that they played. I apologize. Against the San Diego Loyal down at Starfire Stadium. Now they will head down to California on May 10th to take on the LA Galaxy with a 7:30 p.m. start. Um, Not sure where this one will be streamed yet. I know that one against the San Diego Loyal was streamed by Bleacher Report Football, and I was able to tweet that out. So please make sure that you're following us not only on Instagram, but on Twitter and the Facebooks as well, so that when we find out where this match is being streamed and where it's being put on, since it's a U.S. Open Cup match, that we can get that information to you and you can find that out. As opposed to just kind of being left in the dark about it or waiting for our final score post about it. So that is that the first of two that they're playing this week. They play that one on May 10th. Then they will head down to Houston in the Lone Star State to battle the Houston Dynamo on May 13th with a kickoff of 5:30 p.m. Pacific. Yes, as I mentioned, Seattle looking to bounce back in a positive way. Maybe that's in one of these or both of these. Following this loss to Sporting Kansas City. It'll be interesting, at least going back to the U.S. Open Cup match, to see what sort of lineup goes out for Seattle, who's available for selection. As I know, Brian Schmetzer has said that this is obviously a club that a cup that they want to win, and they want to win all the time. They want to stack hardware. But it'll be interesting to see what young guys make the roster. Paul Rothrock had a solid game against the San Diego Loyal. Cody Baker was solid. He signed a recently small year deal. So short-term deal, I apologize. So it'll be interesting to see that.